The decision by a grand jury to indict former US President Donald Trump has put spotlight on a few others apart from Trump himself. One of those is Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA. He is the one who is steering this case. Bragg is one of the 5 elected district attorneys in New York City, one for each of the city's 5 boroughs. Bragg won a tough Democratic primary and then the general election to become Manhattan's district attorney. He is just the 4th elected district attorney in Manhattan in the last 8 decades. He became Manhattan's first black district attorney in 2022 following his election in November of 2021. One of his first and most controversial moves upon taking office was to issue a so-called Day 1 memo instructing prosecutors to only seek jail or prison time for criminals convicted of the most violent offenses such as murder or sexual assault, and to avoid requesting prison sentences over 20 years barring exceptional circumstances. His stance provoked instant blowback in New York City and in conservative media. Bragg had to walk back several of his policies in his instructions to prosecutors, including failing to list gun possession as a crime, warranting jail time, and refraining from charging certain armed robberies as felonies. He later clarified that his memo was not binding and that individual cases would be left to prosecutors' best discretion. He is a 49-year-old graduate of Harvard Law School who has spent roughly 2 decades working as a prosecutor, frequently focusing on white-collar crime. He was also a federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York and later served as New York's Chief Deputy Attorney General. His career includes time as a federal prosecutor, an assistant attorney general for the state of New York, and a civil rights attorney who represented Eric Garner's mother as she pressured New York City officials for more accountability against the officers and commanders involved in her son's 2014 death by a police chokehold. His campaign included promises to change the culture of the office, which allied him with other progressive prosecutors aiming to eliminate cash bail. Prior to the investigation into Trump, Bragg, who is a Democrat, was perhaps best known for working on high-profile cases like the 2022 indictment of Steve Bannon and We Build the Wall. He also won the tax fraud conviction of Allen Weisselberg, the Trump Organization's former chief financial officer. Bragg has boasted in the past of suing Trump or his administration more than 100 times. He led the New York Attorney General's successful 2018 lawsuit against the Donald Jr. Trump Foundation, which paid $2 million in court-ordered damages for illegally misusing charitable funds. During his tenure in the Attorney General's office, he also worked on high-profile investigations into Harvey Weinstein and his company's work environment and into the New York Police Department's use of the controversial stop and frisk policy. He inherited a years-long grand jury investigation into hush money paid on Trump's behalf during his 2016 presidential campaign. After taking office, Bragg slowed down his office's move towards an indictment against Trump and said he had concerns about the strength of the case. That sparked a public protest by 2 prosecutors who were leading the investigation, and they resigned. But then he convened a new grand jury early this year after successfully convicting Trump's family company for tax fraud. He called that result a strong demarcation line for proceeding with other parts of the probe.
Subscribe to Oneindia channel and never miss an update.